Let's talk about the process of insertion sort. It takes two parameters, an array A which containing the values to be sorted and the number n of values of sort. So these values occupy positions A1 through A at n of this array, which we can denote by A at 1 to n. And when the insertion sort procedure is finished, the array A at 1 to n contains the original values, but in sorted order. Suppose we have an array A with the values 5, 2, 4, 6, 1, 3, and we want to sort this array in ascending order by using insertion sort. So here is how it works in our example array A. Let's try to do initialization. We start with when I is 1, which corresponds to the second element in the zero indexing. And first, we run the loop from I is 1 to I is n minus 1, since our array is zero indexed and it has a length of n, so the last number is n minus 1. In our first iteration, when I is 1, we define a key variable, which is assigned by the A at 1, which is 2, and then we define the pointer j, which is I minus 1, which is 1 minus 1, which is 0. And since A at 0 is 5, which is greater than the key, which is 2, so we can enter the while loop. And then we set the A at j into A at j plus 1, which is assigned A at 0 into A at 1. So this array now becomes 5, 5, 4, 6, 1, 3. And then we decrement j to -1. Since j is now -1, j is not greater than 0, so we exit the while loop, and then we assign keys value into A at 0 plus 1, which make the first 5 become 2, which making this array now become 2, 5, 4, 6, 1, 3. In the second iteration, when I is 2, we assign the keys value by A of 2, which is 4, and then we set the j assigned by I minus 1, which is 2 minus 1, which is 1. So now we compare A at 1 with key. Since A of 1 is 5, which is greater than key, which is 4, so we enter the while loop. By using A of j plus 1 assigned by the value of A at j, which is A of 2 assigned by the value of A of 1, we can move 5 to the right, which make the 4 in this array become 5. So this array now become 2, 5, 5, 6, 1, 3. And then we decrement j by 1, which make j become 0. And then we compare A of 0 with the value of the key. Since A of 0 is 2, which is less than key's value, which is 4, so the while loop exists, and finally we say the A of 1's value assigned by the key's value. This array now become 2, 4, 5, 6, 1, 3. Let's talk about third iteration. We are looking at the fourth element, I is 3, and we assign the key by the A of 3, which is 6, and j is the index of the element before the current one, which is we set j to 3 minus 1, which is 2. J is the index of the last element in the sorted subarray. A at j's value is 5, and then we enter the while loop that will run as long as j is greater than 0 and the element at A at j is greater than key. However, in this case, A of j is 5, which is not greater than the key, which is 6. So therefore, the condition to enter the loop are not met, and we won't enter this loop. No elements are shifted because 6 is already larger than all of the elements in this sorted subarray 2, 4, 5, and when the key's value is already larger than all of the elements in this sorted subarray, there's no change we need to make in this array. And then we set A of j plus 1 to key's value. However, since we didn't enter the while loop, there's no shifts were necessary, so j still remains 2 and j plus 1 is still 3. So this means we are setting A of 3 to key's value, but A of 3 is already 6, right? Which matches key, so effectively this array remains unchanged. In the fourth iteration, when I is 4, the variable key is assigned by A of 4, which is 1, and the j index is I minus 1, which is 4 minus 1, which is 3. In our while loop, j is not less than 0. That means we haven't reached the beginning of our array, and the current element of A at j, which is 6, is greater than the key's value, which is 1. So both conditions are true, so we just proceed what's inside the while loop. we shift the element at index j one position to the right, which is a of j plus 1 is assigned by a of j. That means we assign the value at a of 3, which is 6, to the a of 4. So now 1 becomes 6. Now we decrement j by 1, so now j is become 2. Now the a of j's value is 5, which is greater than key's value, and we assigned a of j to the a of j plus 1. So the first 6 become 5, and then we decrement j by 1, so j now becomes 1. Now a of j is 4, which is still greater than the value of key. We still use the a of j plus 1 assigned by a of j. Now the first 5 become 4, and j decremented by 1 becomes 0. And then a of j is 2, which is still greater than the value of key. And then we assign the a of j to the value of a of j plus 1. Now the first 4 become 2, and j decremented by 1 becomes -1. Since j is now -1, which is not greater than or equal to 0, we exit the while loop, and we assign the key's value into a of j plus 1. That means we insert key's value into its correct position, and since j is -1 now, j plus 1 equals to 0, and then we place key's value at a of 0. So the first 2 become 1 now, and our array has partially sorted up to the 5th element. That means the first 5 elements are in the correct order, which is 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and the remaining elements 3 yet to be sorted. In the 5th iteration, when I is 5, a at 5 is 3, we assign the 3 to the key variable, and then we find the index j, which is I minus 1, which is 5 minus 1, which is 4, so that we can compare a at 4, which is 6, which is greater than the value of key, which is 3, so that we are in the while loop. So we can move the element 6 to replace 3, which is assign the value of a4 into the value of 5. And then we decrement j by 1, which is 4 minus 1, which is 3. j is 3. And we compare a at 3 is 5. The value is greater than the value of key, so that we can shift element 5 into 6. So 6 is replaced by 5, and we assign the value of a3 to the a of 4. And then we decrement the pointer j by 1, which is j is 2, and we compare a at 2 is 4, the value is greater than the value of key, so that we can shift the element 4 to replace element 5 just by assign the value of a of 2 into value of a of 3. And then we decrement j by 1, j is 1 now, and a at 1 is 2, the value is less than the value of key, which is 3, so we don't meet the requirement. We have to exit the while loop. And finally, we have to insert the key's value into its correct position. In this case, is a of j plus 1, which is 4 replaced by 3. So now we have this sorted array, which is a is contain element 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is sorted by ascending order.